a lot about Excel here, but my question now has something to do with actually something that's outside of Excel.
Okay.
I have files that are sent to me or given to me from other sources, such as we'll download things into a text document, or it might be tab delimited.
Stuff coming from a mainframe or some other kind of system that's not really related to a Windows environment.
And I'd like to use some of the tips that you've shown me and some of the skills that you've shown me in order to analyze and manipulate that data. But I'm not sure how to get it from there to here, because sometimes copying and pasting works and sometimes it doesn't.
Right. Yeah, the copy and paste, it depends on how they have spaced it out and how they've set it up to begin with, and it can get a little strange at times. But luckily, Excel has a feature for you to bring that in. I can import, it sounds like you have delimited text maybe coming in where they've got maybe commas between or spaces or tabs between the text. And I can import that. I also can import from Access or Word. You know, you've got tables in Access. I can import that into Excel. If you have a table created in Word, I can do that too. And where we do this is in the ribbon on the Data tab.
Okay.
So let's go to the Data tab. We have a new workbook open, and we're on our Data tab. And in the Get External Data grouping, which is the first one, you're going to see that we can get from Access, we can get from the web, we can get from text, or from other sources. What you're primarily talking about is from text. So let's click on that one.
That's how it comes.
And you want to go out and find the file. So do you have something saved out there with that information?
I do. I have a tab delimited file.
Okay, so let's choose that one. And notice we have a wizard, and it's telling you what you're trying to do. So it says this is to determine that your data is delimited. And so you tell it, okay, it's delimited or it's fixed width. What do you suppose the difference is?
I would assume fixed width would mean that the number of characters is fixed.
Right.
That it is 10 characters. Or
Right.
12
You know
characters
this
or whatever.
column's 10 characters, and in some cases you would know that. It just depends on the type of data you're bringing in. In your case, it sounds like it's delimited,
It is.
where it's different size fields and different information in each field. So we'll stay with delimited.
Okay.
Notice it says you can tell it which row to start your information in. So if you wanted to put this starting on row 20, you could start on row 20.
Oh, that's great.
So wherever you want to do it. It tells us where the file came from, and then you come down and you have a preview.
It's not looking good right
It's
now.
not looking real good right now. That's probably what it looks like when it comes in, isn't it?
It is.
But luckily, we're in step 1 of 3.
Okay.
So we'll click the next button in our wizard. And here's where we begin to identify what the delimiter is. What is separating the different pieces of information? It has defaulted to tab, and looking at your information there, that's looking probably pretty accurate. But it could be, delimited by various items. It could be the comma, a space. Notice it could be even something else, and you've got the other field where you could put something in there. So we're going to accept that tab is the delimiter here. So
Yeah,
we'll
that
click on next.
looks a lot better.
Doesn't it though? And at this point, you can set any kind of data formats you want. So for example, this first column is a year. So if you wanted to put some kind of data format in there, you have monetary amounts in the third column. So if you wanted to add any kind of formatting there, you can. Notice up above you have an advanced button. Let's just click on that. And you'll see that you can tell it if it's not putting in decimal places or commas, things along those lines. You can have it do that. It has an option for your negative numbers.
Okay.
And there you have it.
All right. So I can select each one of these columns and then define what format that data
Right.
is in so that it can recognize it.
And a nice thing about this is if you wanted to, let's say you didn't want the northeast information in what's being transferred in. Notice up in the top left in your radio button options, the last one, do not import column. You can select a column you don't want, tell it not to import it, and it won't bring it over.
Oh, okay. So if they give me more than what I need, I can just here, instead of having to go do that in Excel
Right.
after it's imported, I can just go ahead and say don't even bring it in.
Exactly.
I like it. Very good.
Okay. So you click on Finish, and it says where do you want to put it. We're going to go with the existing worksheet starting in cell A1. Click OK. And there it is.
There it is.
Is that better?
Yes, that is much better.
It looks good.
It is understandable. It may not be pretty yet,
Yet.
but you have showed me how to make it more understandable by applying tables and formats and that kind of thing. But before, I couldn't even understand it. It looked like a different language. So that's great.
Well, that's good. I'm glad that works for you. Let's just click outside of that data for a moment. And we're still on the data tab in our ribbon. Just wanted to point out a few other things to you. Obviously, from text, you could have pulled from a Word document if you wanted to.
Oh, sure.
There's a tab over there, or a button over there that says from Access. If you had a table in Access you wanted to bring in, same process pretty much, but you would bring from Access. You might occasionally bring things in from the internet. So let's do the one from the web, just so you can get a feel for that. Let's open up a new file, because we don't want to mess this one up. You wanted to bring that information in. And we're going to do the from web one here.
All right.
Okay? So we're on our ribbons, we're on the data tab, and we're going to choose from web. And this brings up, we happen to already be in the website that I wanted you to go to, so this is fine, it's msn.com, but you can go to whatever website you want. Let's scroll down, there's a little stock table, there it is. See the little yellow arrow?
Yes.
That tells me that this table can be imported into Excel.
Okay.
So you click on that, and then you come down in the bottom right corner and you click import. Once it picks up the data, then it comes back and it says, where do you want to put it? It asks you if you want to put it in a new worksheet or existing, what cell to start in. We're fine with that because we're in a new worksheet already, so we click OK. And it may take a moment. It'll tell you it's retrieving the data, but there it is. Now the beauty of importing from the web like this is if you keep it open, it will continue to refresh. It's linked to that data. Or you can go back up to your data tab on the ribbon, and in the connections section you can choose refresh all, and that will refresh the data to the most current.
Oh, okay. So it's linked to that table on the web that we imported from.
Right.
Okay, great. So if I close this and bring this open, will it refresh as well?
Yes.
Okay, all right, great.
The one thing you want to be careful about is if you move this file or you change the name of this file, it could corrupt the link.
Okay, that's good to know.
Those are your data import options. So you can pull it from Access, you can pull it from the internet, you can pull it from text out of a mainframe or a Word document or so forth. And then there is one more option in that Get External Data area. So you'll notice in the From Other Sources drop down, you have some other areas you might be pulling data from. So if you have a SQL Server and you're pulling it from a table there, there's also analysis services. We talked about those when we were talking about formulas before.
Oh yeah,
and the functions.
that's
right. XML data import, this is the Microsoft version of an XML, and it can pull information in from other XML type programs.
Okay.
And then you have your data connection wizard and your Microsoft query. So you have other areas. Probably the people who use these know they're there already.
Okay.
But they are available to you too.
All right, that's great. Those are great options, and I'm excited about importing from text.
I bet you.